Anyway, our weekly matches are best of nines, with the ninth being an ace match. And that one is always played. As all the matches are always played, because as they can be played in any order during the week whenever the players. Anyway, now we're heading into the beginning of our game here on Ultrazim's Stronghold. Spawning in the upper left, playing for our Guns and Roaches, we have happybythree. And spawning down in the lower right as our pink Protoss player, playing for Team Vortex, drewsipher. So as this one starts out, we see an overlord headed across the map and a drone out to scout in the right directions. Pretty soon that drone will arrive and probably tell both players, in fact, where the other player is, considering that early drone scout usually is sent to the cross spawn if it. Otherwise, nothing that out of the ordinary going on yet. We have a gateway in the base for drewsipher. Our Zerg player looks like he's going to be going hatch first. And there it is. And that first drone is tooling around the Protoss base, seeing nothing that out of the ordinary at the moment. Scuffling a little with a probe over here, confirming that there is no second base yet. Perhaps trying to be a little annoying, but most likely going to die to this probe here. It does get to escape the base, and the probe lets it run all the way home. In the meantime, drewsipher's scouting probe is about to arrive at 3. And confirming the timing of a pretty early gas, considering hatch first, and obviously hatch first, the pool isn't done yet. Hatchery finished. But both players have gotten some pretty good scouting information by this point. drewsipher is indeed starting that nexus in the free natural. Ultrazim aim's always fun because as you get your second base sort of for free, with only this ramp is the ground way into both of your first two bases. As we see, nicely walled off with a one zealot hole and one zealot holding in it. Which does tend to make early aggression, well, a lot less of an option. But it can still be a pretty strong option, especially if they go for Roaches rather than Zerglings for a Zerg player against Protoss. But we don't even see a Roach Warren yet. We do see Zergling's speed on the way. And the Stalker and that all-important Warp Gate technology on the way for drewsipher. The Mothership Core already out there. Two Lings going out to see if they can find any sneaky pylons or anything. There aren't any at this point, but there could be. But both players looking like they're going for a bit more of a macro game. drewsipher just threw down a Robo. So we're probably going to see those Immortals come out and quite possibly coincide soon as well. Another gas and lair coming on the way for happybythree. Interesting that we see no Roach Warren yet. Perhaps he's planning on playing Hydra Ling or some other type of build. happybythree is taking his third already. Neither player being aggressive at this point, both just content to sit around in their base. An observer going out across the map, get some good scouting information for drewsipher. Scouts, Scantipede. I always love the critters on. Anyway, this observer just sailing slowly all the way across the map. Overlords getting placed in good strategic positions. Now we have a Roach Warren on the way for our Zerg player, as well as some Evo Chambers. drewsipher warping in another Zealot back home, as well as all of his stalkers, and has one Immortal out by now. Looks like he's actually going to start to move out. And that there was also a Hydra Den I missed, as we see the first Hydralisks on the way for happybythree. Speed and grooved spines being researched. There's that. Anyway, let's follow drewsipher's force here. You stalkers taking lead, followed by the rest of the troops. This could be a pretty good push, considering that he's still got a little more army supply than happybythree does. A lot of that army supply is going to be in Queens and Lings, but as he has seen this coming thanks to the Overlord, there's a lot of spine crawlers going down. Don't know if they'll be up fast enough, though. Apparently drewsipher thinks they were, as he mass recalls just before those spine crawlers finish. And then trying to take that. Probably a decently smart idea, although really all he had to do was back off from the spine crawlers. Those Immortals are a lot less useful, as we're not seeing Roaches be made in very large numbers on the other side, although now we're seeing them. Another gateway to Twilight Council on the way for drewsipher. Twilight Council just about to finish, as well as his third base just finishing up now. And there's the drone transfer. Probe transfer. The workers, whatever they're called for this race. Anyway. Q2 is now on the way for happybythree. drewsipher not even having a forge, let alone having any upgrades at this point. No, he does have a forge, and in fact, +1 weapons is about 3/4 done. My mistake. Here's a forge. Anyway, it looks like our Zerg player is going to have a pretty significant upgrade. Because by the time +2 armor is going to finish, Q2 is going to be done for the Zerg player. But neither player doing any aggression for the moment. We have some pretty decent creep spread coming out of happybythree. Templar Archives just finished up for drewsipher, and Storm is on the way. Should be quite effective against those Hydras. We see great numbers. Going for +2 weapons. And our Zerg player, though, is about to finish 2-2. Also has an infestation play now. But this considerable Hydraling army is, for the moment, just standing watch. Any 2-2 timing out of him. More and more creep spread, though, as he takes more and more of the map. Probably going to see that 4th base taken pretty soon. Got creep already extended to it. The other side of the map, we see a few new Archons joining the army. And it looks like drewsipher thinks it's time to move out. Doctor's taking the Vanguard, being followed by slow Zealots and a number of other things. This has been scouted by that Overseer, but this is a pretty sizable army for drewsipher, and with those storms being available, as they now are, this could be pretty dangerous. Those storms should absolutely wreck the Hydras and Lings, if they can hit. And although he does have considerably more army, storms are one heck of an equalizer. So here's the engagement going down. Lings running in, taking down a few Stalkers at the front. No storms just yet. There's the first storm. There's another one all over those Hydras. And a third, a fourth, a fifth. That was a lot of storms. And the storms were pretty good. But there is just too much Zerg here. Although those storms did a lot of damage, it wasn't quite enough to kill most of this army. And with all those Hydras remaining, this counterattack could and probably will be absolutely devastating. Behind this, drewsipher was taking a 4th base. Not sure how well that'll stand up. Anyway, we've got a few Roaches join in with the Hydras and Lings. Mostly just raw Hydras at this point, actually, other than those Roaches which have just died. So, pretty much raw Hydras versus whatever the Protoss has to bear, but what that isn't very much. GG is called. Those were some pretty good storms, but they just weren't quite enough. There were just too many Hydras there. Anyway, that'll be it for Game 1.